Good morning.
Hey, Seattle.
As always, it's your girls, Jasmine and Shantae.
Welcome to another Thursday morning and another episode of The Way with Jazz and Tay.
We'll be bringing you lots of laughs and class to get you ready for the day and the weekend ahead.
Will it be the way or not the way? Find out and join the conversation.
Hey, welcome back to The Way with Jazz and Tay. Before the break, we played our Icebreaker the Pride deck, which we both were not very happy with how we did. However, it wasn't bad.
I knew, and I'm glad. I'm glad about it.
We're not completely oblivious. We also did our review of the week and our introduction. And don't forget, you guys, we have a website that we launched, thewayjtpod.com. So don't forget.
Check that out.
Now we're going to go ahead and get into our review of the week. So we both mentioned earlier that we've been back in the theaters now that the outside is opening back up again. Shantae and I have both now seen a scary movie in theaters. Actually, technically, all the movies that between us we've seen are like thriller, horror. So Shantae, I'm gonna have you go ahead and take the mic and talk to us about The Conjuring, because I feel like that is really hot news right now.
Well, I can't go too into depth about it because I don't want to ruin it. I definitely want everybody to see it. So I went and saw The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, which I think is the third movie in the series. Well, technically not, because there's all the Annabelle movies, but like in the Conjuring movies, I think it's the third one.
Oh, okay. Understood.
So a little bit about the story. Again, it is based on a true story that actually happened in the 80s. It is about Ed and Lorraine Warren, the two, I guess you could say, they're paranormal investigators. They go to this family who, is experiencing some demonic activity. Somebody is possessed. They go in, and things just turn like for the worst. Probably the worst that they've ever seen. Probably the worst that we've ever seen them see.
Is Lorraine, that character, she's kind of like a medium, right?
Yes.
Okay. I remember.
Played by Vera Farmiga, who was also in Bates Motel.
Norma Bates!
Yes. And I'm sure she was probably in one of the American Horror Stories because she's always playing like
in these
really
scary,
crazy movies. Alongside her husband is Ed Warren, and that's played by Patrick Wilson. And so basically everything goes like left in this one exorcism, and it's not like a quick fix. It goes on for like what feels like months. This is like a 2.5 hour movie. It was 2.5 hours too long, because there was no moment in the movie that wasn't like this, like climactic. I was like, I need a moment to collect myself. Can we get that, boring backstory scene? Because I need to like take a break. There would be like two scary sequences happening at a time, and we're just flashing back. And I'm like, look, like I need a break. Can we be driving down a windy road? Something. I need something. They do give you that, but it is far and few in between. And it's really good. I would say everybody's acting was really good.
Of course.
Kudos to the little boy in the beginning of the movie. He did an amazing job. What I will say also is that this is actually based off of a true case that happened in the 80s, where they actually, for the very first time, and I think it's the only time in like American history that they tried a case, and the reasoning or like the defense was demonic possession.
Oh,
now,
wow.
They didn't win it. I guess you could say in a way they won it, because the guy was being tried with like murder one. But they found him guilty of involuntary manslaughter due to demonic possession.
I didn't know.
And
he killed He did kill somebody.
Yes, somebody. Okay. Many people die.
Gotcha. Okay. Many people died.
Yes. Yes. So the actual person who the story is based off actually ended up doing 5 years in prison, only 5 years, because of the manslaughter charge.
Wow. Wow.
Yes. At the end of the movie, they were so nice to add in clippings from the actual exorcism.
I love it.
That's when I ran out of the movie theater, because I was like, deuces, I don't need to
done.
catch anything today. Peace out. It's been real. I had to use the restroom now. But all of that to say, it is a really great scary movie. Like, all the Conjuring movies I feel like are really good and really scary. So it just kind of follows that sequence. IMDb, however, gave it a 6.5 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 59%, and Metacritic gave it a 53%. So the
Who even
critics are
is
giving
Metacritic? Who are they? Why does their opinion matter?
They pop up all the time whenever I do these things.
Jazz. Who are they?
Right.
How do they get?
Let me, you know what? Just throw mine in there too. I give it a 68%. I haven't even seen it.
I'll say, I don't know. It was interesting because people leaving the movie were like, "Oh, that was so like funny and like silly," and I was like, there was no part to me where I was like giggling.
Oh, maybe they think it's kind of corny. Like it's not actually scary.
I mean, I feel like there are some scary movies where there is some comedic relief.
Yeah.
Not one of them.
Understood.
At all, like you kind of know what's coming. It's kind of like, oh, like we know, because if you've seen enough scary movies, you see the same tropes and the same kind of themes, and yeah, you see that, which is what made it less scary to me, but it was still pretty freaking scary. Like I was just like, there's kids involved. I don't like kids, and like Exorcist, I don't like that. Too good of actors. Like, what's going on? How is he doing now that he's not in that role?
Right. Okay.
And
Understood.
And there's a lot of darkness in it too. So like, there's a lot of like, you don't see something, and then all of a sudden something's in your face. And like I said, I was sitting second to the front row, so like
it was all up in
really
your face.
on top of and it was loud. We were in one of those theaters with like the new nice screens where it's like, the visuals are super crisp, and I was like, it could be dull today. We could miss it. I'm fine with that. I don't need to see everything. I will tell you guys, I probably only actually saw about 60% of the movie because I sat with my eyes like this, like trying to peek out of one eye, like what can I see and what this feels okay. Yeah, so it was good, but I was terrified. I didn't have nightmares though, so that's great. That's always
good. Yeah.
Great.
No, that is a good sign.
When I don't keep myself up at night thinking about it, it's a good one. So definitely check it out. Definitely the way.
So did I already talk about Spiral on this?
I don't think so.
I feel like, I might be having deja vu here, but the first movie that I went and saw was Spiral, which is actually part of the Saw franchise. So like, Jigsaw, Saw 1, 2, 3, all of them, all like 10 of those movies. So the whole Saw portion of things though is technically like over. And this is some kind of like separate story and situation that kind of relates and ties into it.
Okay.
So you definitely get all of the same nasty, like bloody, gut stuff, all the visuals with it. Like, how sometimes when you see those like gory movies, they give you like just enough and you're like, oh, okay, that was enough. They leave it for too long. You're like,
they go all the way there.
Yeah. Like, there was a scene where someone was getting like glass in their back. And you think that like, maybe you would just see a couple seconds at a time. No, they're like straight up showing this man get like, torn up alive by this glass essentially. So that just gives you like a good idea of part of the visual. There's more. There is so much more, and it's all just equally as nasty and uncomfortable actually. Like it's sometimes at times very uncomfortable to watch. This movie has actually pretty, I don't want to say star-studded cast, but it has Samuel L. Jackson in it and Chris Rock, which are two very well-known actors, you know, and comedians. I don't know, is Samuel L. Jackson a comedian? I mean, like he plays funny characters.
He has his
at
moments,
times.
I think, is what you're trying to get at. Yeah, he has his
Chris
moments.
Rock is but they did a very good job, you know. So Samuel L. Jackson plays Chris Rock's father. The story actually follows Chris Rock, and there's like a bunch of murders that keep happening that are similar to, like, you know, the Saw thing, and so they're trying to basically play catch up, or like, you know, figure it out and find out what's going on. And as in all the movies, there's a twist at the end that you're not supposed to see coming. I will say it's very predictable. I was definitely watching it the whole time, like, oh, okay, this person's going to be involved here, or like, see how they're setting this up, because later this is going to happen. And like, you know, I felt like you, Shantae. I've been feeling like you lately watching these movies. Like, you know, you just see through it. And you just kind of knew what to expect as it was coming, but it was still really uncomfortable to watch and see. IMDb gave it a 5.3, and Rotten Tomatoes only gave it a 36%.
What?
Yeah. So it's not very well liked by the critics I'm seeing.
I was gonna say it's probably because they're like, why are they still making these movies?
Well, and that's what I was just gonna say. I feel like at this point, it's definitely just like, you know, it was like a cult classic. You know, it's one of those types of franchises and things where you're gonna like it, and they're pretty much catering to the fans at this point. Like, they know that people are gonna come and see this because there already are people who love the franchise and are gonna, you know, that are gonna go. Right. I also want to throw out there that 21 Savage did the album, like for the movie.
The whole album?
Yeah, like what's that called?
The soundtrack, the movie soundtrack.
There, thank you. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, he did the soundtrack. Because like you'll listen to it throughout it, and you'll be like, the music was great, you know. And I was like, oh shoot, okay, they kind of made it a little spicy in here. So yeah, I like Spiral, but I'm a fan of like the franchise in general. I won't say that, you know, it was one of my favorites. But I did love to see Chris Rock in a dramatic role, or like in a serious role. That was really cool to see. So I would recommend it. You know, it'll probably come out on one of the many streaming platforms that I'm sure we all have. I would wait for that. I wouldn't go and see it. Lastly, I want to review quickly A Quiet Place 2, because that also just came out around the same time as The Conjuring, Devil Made Me Do It. And this one was a long-awaited sequel as well. For those of you guys that saw A Quiet Place, the first one, that was a thriller that just had you on the edge of your seats the whole time. And it was also a really cool, like, groundbreaking movie, because one of the main characters was a deaf person, and they had a lot of signing. So it was a nice movie that kind of catered to all, to that community as well, inclusive. And I only recently saw the first one like a week or two ago, and then immediately went and saw the second one. So it was all very fresh. Oh. It was so freaking good. It has, yes, girl. It has John Krasinski in it, which is the guy that plays Jim from The Office. So, you know, I'm already a huge fan of him. And he died in the first one. But that's not a spoiler. The movie's been out for a while. So if you haven't seen it. Okay, cool. I was like,
yeah, I saw it in theaters.
Okay, cool. I was like, But the second one kind of shows kind of like what happened leading up to the first movie, like the intro.
Oh, so it's like a prequel.
Well, no. So like there's the opening scene that is like that little intro there, and then the rest of the movie literally picks up from where the first one ends. Yeah, waste no time. So yeah, so it's pretty much like, you know, as you know what happened, their home pretty much got destroyed, and so now they're trying to find refuge elsewhere. And the kicker is there's a newborn baby involved for, you know. Right. Yeah, so it was very, very good. They are savage. The kids are so stupid. I just can't even handle. The
Aren't
kids
they
are always
always?
kids are always trying to do the absolute most and getting involved in things that they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah.
But yes, I definitely recommend it. This one I really won't talk more about because of the fact that it is still very new. And I know you guys are gonna want to go see it. I think it's also available on one of those platforms as well. I don't know which one.
Probably HBO.
But yeah, definitely check it out. It was so good and really worth it. There's a new male lead in it as well that they come upon, and he's awesome. He's a great actor. He does a good job. I don't even know his name, but he's killing it. So yeah, that's my review of the week. We are obviously in a spooky mood, so maybe the next one will be a little lighter.
I don't know, man. And they keep telling me that Handmaid's Tale, the way it ends, is pretty crazy. And I'm just about to finish them. I'm like halfway through the last episode. So I think mine is going to be just as dark. But
I'm praying for you.
So that we save enough time for our hot topic roundup, because we got a lot to talk about, we're going to go ahead and jump into another 2 to 3 minute break. You are listening to The Way with Jazz and Tay.